Hello beautiful souls, I am thrilled to have you here and hope you find this content deeply meaningful. Remember to like, subscribe, and share to extend the reach of our empowering community. Together, we can support others on their journey of growth and transformation. Spread the word and let's inspire more beautiful souls. Hello beautiful souls, today I want to explore the importance of boundaries. Boundaries are another thing I had to learn about in my journey. I have never been able to say no, as I was taught that my only meaning for existing was to make everyone in my life happy. I hated the way I felt when they were mad at me for not giving in to what they wanted. I didn't know this was a huge violation of my boundaries. I didn't even learn what boundaries were until I started my journey in the case management field. That was when I was taught that people have a right to not have someone invade their boundaries. At that time, I felt not even my body was mine to control. If someone wanted me in a physical way, I would tend to fold. Even if I wasn't attracted to them, I just couldn't say no. Learning about boundaries was the absolute best thing in the world for me. Boundaries are the limits and rules we set for ourselves within relationships. A person with healthy boundaries can say no to others when they want to but are also comfortable opening themselves up to intimacy and close relationships. Boundaries ensure that our interactions are respectful and that our needs and preferences are honored. Understanding personal boundaries is crucial because they help define our identity and how we connect with others. They protect our mental and emotional well-being and keep us safe from harm. Without boundaries, we may find ourselves feeling overwhelmed, resentful, and taken advantage of. Setting boundaries is an essential skill for maintaining healthy relationships and a positive sense of self. Learning about boundaries was an eye-opener for me and something we all need to understand clearly. This is a big part of self-love, understanding boundaries and when to enforce them. In this content, we will discuss the definition of personal boundaries and break down different types and ways to enforce them. Each type of boundary has its unique importance and ways to uphold them, ensuring our well-being and respectful interactions with others. Physical boundaries. Physical boundaries pertain to personal space and physical touch. They define who can touch us, how much space we need, and how we feel when someone invades this space. Respecting physical boundaries means understanding and acknowledging another person's comfort zone. Physical boundaries can vary greatly from one person to another and can change depending on the context. For instance, a hug might be welcomed from a close friend but not from a stranger. Clear physical boundaries help us feel safe and respected in our interactions. They also prevent misunderstandings and unwanted physical interactions. Violating physical boundaries can lead to feelings of discomfort and fear. Therefore, it is crucial to communicate our physical boundaries clearly and respect those of others. For example, in crowded places, some people may feel uncomfortable with close physical proximity, while others may not mind. It's important to be mindful and ask for consent when it comes to physical contact. This not only shows respect but also builds trust in relationships. Physical boundaries are fundamental in creating a sense of security and personal autonomy. Maintaining physical boundaries also includes setting limits on physical interactions based on our comfort levels. This involves being aware of our own needs and expressing them to others. It's important to understand that it's okay to refuse physical contact if it makes us uncomfortable. Teaching children about physical boundaries is equally important to help them understand their rights over their own bodies. They should be taught that it's acceptable to say no to unwanted physical contact. Physical boundaries protect our well-being and help maintain respectful and healthy interactions with others. Physical boundaries also play a crucial role in intimate relationships. In these settings, boundaries help partners understand each other's comfort levels and preferences. Communication is key in ensuring both parties feel safe and respected. This mutual understanding fosters a healthy and fulfilling relationship. Violating physical boundaries in intimate settings can have severe emotional consequences and erode trust. Hence, it's vital to maintain open and honest communication about physical boundaries with partners. Physical boundaries are a cornerstone of healthy, respectful, and loving relationships. In personal and professional settings, physical boundaries are vital for creating a safe and respectful environment. They help maintain professionalism and respect for personal space, ensuring everyone feels comfortable and valued. Emotional boundaries. Emotional boundaries involve separating your feelings from someone else's feelings. They protect your emotional well-being and prevent others from dumping their emotions onto you. Emotional boundaries are about understanding where your emotions end and another person's begin. They help you avoid taking on other people's emotional burdens. Emotional boundaries are essential for maintaining your mental health and personal happiness. Without them, you may find yourself overwhelmed by other people's problems. Emotional boundaries allow you to remain empathetic without becoming enmeshed in someone else's emotional state. They are crucial for emotional self-care and resilience. Emotional boundaries also involve regulating your own emotions and responses. This means not allowing others to manipulate or control your emotions. Emotional boundaries help you stay true to your feelings and values without being swayed by others. They also involve knowing when to share your emotions and when to keep them private. Maintaining emotional boundaries requires self-awareness and assertiveness. It's about understanding your emotional limits and communicating them effectively to others. Healthy emotional boundaries lead to more balanced and respectful relationships. They prevent emotional burnout and protect your mental well-being. Setting emotional boundaries can be challenging but is essential for healthy relationships. It involves recognizing and respecting your emotional needs and limits. Communicating your emotional boundaries to others is crucial in preventing emotional overstep. For instance, you might need to limit the time you spend with someone who is emotionally draining. Emotional boundaries are not about shutting people out but about protecting your emotional health. They allow you to support others without sacrificing your emotional well-being. Setting and maintaining emotional boundaries is a continuous process that evolves with your relationships and personal growth. Understanding emotional boundaries also involves recognizing when others are violating them. This awareness helps you take appropriate actions to protect your emotional health. It's important to surround yourself with people who respect your emotional boundaries. Building relationships with emotionally healthy individuals fosters mutual respect and understanding. Emotional boundaries also play a vital role in conflict resolution. They help you manage conflicts without compromising your emotional integrity. Emotional boundaries are essential for maintaining emotional stability and healthy interpersonal dynamics. They help you navigate relationships with empathy and self-respect. Emotional boundaries also help in managing expectations in relationships. They ensure that your emotional needs are met while respecting others' emotional space. Emotional boundaries create a sense of emotional security in relationships. They prevent emotional dependency and promote emotional independence. Emotional boundaries also help in managing stress and emotional overload. They allow you to prioritize your emotional well-being. Emotional boundaries are fundamental in creating emotionally healthy and fulfilling relationships. They protect your emotional health and foster emotional growth. Emotional boundaries are a crucial aspect of self-care and maintaining healthy interpersonal relationships. Verbal boundaries. Verbal boundaries involve the words we use and the topics we discuss. They help protect our thoughts and feelings from being invalidated or dismissed. Verbal boundaries ensure that our communication remains respectful and constructive. They involve speaking up when someone says something hurtful or disrespectful. Verbal boundaries also mean knowing when to change the subject or end a conversation that makes you uncomfortable. Maintaining verbal boundaries is crucial for healthy and respectful communication. They help us express ourselves clearly and assertively. Verbal boundaries protect our self-esteem and personal dignity. Setting verbal boundaries involves being mindful of the words we use and the impact they have on others. It's important to communicate your boundaries clearly and respectfully. For instance, you can say, "I don't feel comfortable discussing this topic." Verbal boundaries also involve not tolerating abusive or offensive language. They ensure that our conversations remain positive and respectful. Verbal boundaries help prevent misunderstandings and conflicts. They create a safe space for open and honest communication. Verbal boundaries are essential for maintaining healthy relationships and effective communication. Verbal boundaries also involve listening to others and respecting their verbal boundaries. This means being attentive and responsive to their communication needs. It's important to avoid interrupting or talking over others. Verbal boundaries help in creating a balanced and respectful dialogue. They ensure that everyone has a chance to express themselves. Verbal boundaries also involve avoiding gossip and negative talk. They promote positive and constructive communication. Verbal boundaries are crucial for building trust and mutual respect in relationships. They foster a positive communication environment where everyone feels heard and valued. Verbal boundaries also play a significant role in conflict resolution. They help in expressing your feelings and needs without escalating the conflict. Verbal boundaries involve using I statements instead of you statements to avoid blaming others. They help in addressing issues calmly and constructively. Verbal boundaries also involve setting limits on how long you will engage in a discussion. They help in preventing prolonged and unproductive arguments. Verbal boundaries are essential for resolving conflicts peacefully and respectfully. They promote understanding and cooperation. Verbal boundaries are a key component of effective communication and relationship building. Understanding verbal boundaries also involves recognizing when others are not respecting them. This awareness helps you take appropriate actions to protect your verbal boundaries. It's important to surround yourself with people who respect your verbal boundaries. Verbal boundaries create a positive and respectful communication environment. They prevent verbal abuse and promote healthy dialogue. Verbal boundaries also help in managing stress and emotional overload. They allow you to communicate your needs effectively. Verbal boundaries are fundamental in creating healthy and fulfilling relationships. They protect your communication integrity and promote positive interactions. Time boundaries. Time boundaries are essential for managing how we spend our time and ensuring we have time for ourselves. They involve setting limits on how much time we dedicate to various activities and people. Time boundaries help us prioritize our tasks and responsibilities. They ensure we have enough time for rest, self-care, and personal activities. Without time boundaries, we may find ourselves overcommitted and stressed. Time boundaries are crucial for maintaining a healthy work-life balance. They help us allocate our time effectively and avoid burnout. Time boundaries protect our time and well-being. Time boundaries also involve respecting others' time. This means being punctual and mindful of how much time we take from others. Time boundaries help us avoid wasting time on unproductive activities. They ensure we focus on what is important and meaningful to us. Setting time boundaries involves planning and organizing our schedule. It's important to communicate our time boundaries clearly to others. For instance, you can say, "I can only stay for an hour." Time boundaries help us manage our time effectively and maintain a healthy balance. They protect our time and energy. Time boundaries also play a crucial role in preventing time-wasting behaviors. They help us set limits on activities that do not align with our priorities. Time boundaries ensure we dedicate enough time to our goals and aspirations. They prevent us from overcommitting and feeling overwhelmed. Time boundaries are essential for maintaining our productivity and well-being. They help us stay focused and organized. Time boundaries also involve setting limits on how much time we spend on certain tasks. This helps in managing our workload and avoiding burnout. Time boundaries are crucial for achieving our personal and professional goals. Time boundaries also involve recognizing and respecting others' time boundaries. This means being mindful of their time and avoiding unnecessary interruptions. Time boundaries help in creating a respectful and efficient environment. They ensure that everyone's time is valued and respected. Time boundaries are essential for maintaining healthy relationships and productive interactions. They promote mutual respect and understanding. Time boundaries also help in managing stress and maintaining our mental well-being. They allow us to have enough time for rest and relaxation. Time boundaries are fundamental in creating a balanced and fulfilling life. Understanding time boundaries also involves recognizing when others are not respecting them. This awareness helps you take appropriate actions to protect your time boundaries. It's important to surround yourself with people who respect your time boundaries. Time boundaries create a sense of control and balance in our lives. They prevent time-related stress and promote a healthy lifestyle. Time boundaries also help in managing our commitments and responsibilities. They ensure we have enough time for ourselves and our loved ones. Time boundaries are essential for achieving our goals and maintaining a healthy work-life balance. Intellectual boundaries. Intellectual boundaries involve respecting other people's ideas and opinions and not imposing our own. They protect our thoughts, beliefs, and ideas from being invalidated or dismissed. Intellectual boundaries allow us to express our opinions freely and respectfully. They help us engage in constructive discussions without feeling attacked or judged. Intellectual boundaries are about understanding that everyone has the right to their own opinions. They promote mutual respect and understanding in conversations. Intellectual boundaries help us maintain our intellectual autonomy. They ensure our ideas and beliefs are respected and valued. Setting intellectual boundaries involves communicating your thoughts and opinions clearly. It's important to listen to others and respect their viewpoints. Intellectual boundaries help in creating a respectful and open-minded environment. They encourage healthy and constructive discussions. Intellectual boundaries are essential for intellectual growth and learning. They allow us to explore new ideas and perspectives without fear of judgment. Intellectual boundaries also involve avoiding debates that turn into personal attacks. They ensure our conversations remain positive and respectful. Intellectual boundaries protect our intellectual integrity and promote mutual respect. Intellectual boundaries also involve recognizing and respecting others' intellectual boundaries. This means being open to different viewpoints and avoiding imposing our own. Intellectual boundaries help in creating a balanced and respectful dialogue. They ensure that everyone's ideas and opinions are valued. Intellectual boundaries also involve setting limits on how much we engage in certain discussions. They help us avoid unproductive arguments and focus on meaningful conversations. Intellectual boundaries are crucial for maintaining intellectual well-being and growth. They promote open-mindedness and mutual respect. Intellectual boundaries are fundamental in creating a positive and respectful intellectual environment. Intellectual boundaries also play a significant role in conflict resolution. They help in addressing intellectual disagreements without escalating the conflict. Intellectual boundaries involve using respectful language and avoiding personal attacks. They help in resolving intellectual conflicts constructively. Intellectual boundaries also involve setting limits on how much time and energy we spend on intellectual debates. They help in managing our intellectual resources effectively. Intellectual boundaries are essential for maintaining our intellectual health and well-being. They protect our intellectual integrity and promote positive interactions. Intellectual boundaries are a key component of intellectual growth and learning. Understanding intellectual boundaries also involves recognizing when others are not respecting them. This awareness helps you take appropriate actions to protect your intellectual boundaries. It's important to surround yourself with people who respect your intellectual boundaries. Intellectual boundaries create a positive and respectful intellectual environment. They prevent intellectual abuse and promote healthy dialogue. Intellectual boundaries also help in managing stress and intellectual overload. They allow you to communicate your ideas effectively. Intellectual boundaries are fundamental in creating healthy and fulfilling intellectual relationships. They protect your intellectual health and foster intellectual growth. Intellectual boundaries also help in managing expectations in intellectual discussions. They ensure that your intellectual needs are met while respecting others' intellectual space. Intellectual boundaries create a sense of intellectual security in relationships. They prevent intellectual dependency and promote intellectual independence. Intellectual boundaries also help in managing intellectual stress and overload. They allow you to prioritize your intellectual well-being. Intellectual boundaries are fundamental in creating intellectually healthy and fulfilling relationships. They protect your intellectual health and foster intellectual growth. Intellectual boundaries are a crucial aspect of intellectual self-care and maintaining healthy intellectual relationships. Material boundaries. Material boundaries involve setting limits on how we use and share our possessions. They protect our personal belongings and financial resources. Material boundaries ensure that our possessions are respected and not taken for granted. They involve being mindful of how we lend our belongings and to whom. Material boundaries help us avoid feeling taken advantage of. They ensure that our material resources are used and shared responsibly. Material boundaries protect our financial well-being and personal belongings. They are crucial for maintaining a healthy and balanced relationship with our possessions. Setting material boundaries involves being clear about your limits and expectations. It's important to communicate your material boundaries to others. For instance, you can say, "I'm not comfortable lending my car." Material boundaries help in managing our possessions and financial resources effectively. They prevent us from feeling resentful or exploited. Material boundaries also involve respecting others' material boundaries. This means being mindful of their belongings and financial resources. Material boundaries help in creating a respectful and responsible environment. They ensure that everyone's possessions are valued and respected. Material boundaries also play a crucial role in financial management. They help us set limits on our spending and borrowing. Material boundaries ensure that we use our financial resources wisely. They prevent financial stress and promote financial stability. Material boundaries are essential for maintaining our financial well-being. They help us manage our finances effectively. Material boundaries also involve setting limits on how much we give and receive. This helps in maintaining a healthy balance in our financial relationships. Material boundaries protect our financial health and promote financial responsibility. Material boundaries also involve recognizing and respecting others' material boundaries. This means being mindful of their possessions and financial resources. Material boundaries help in creating a balanced and respectful environment. They ensure that everyone's material needs are met. Material boundaries also involve setting limits on how much we share our possessions. This helps in avoiding material exploitation and maintaining a healthy balance. Material boundaries are crucial for maintaining our material well-being. They protect our possessions and financial resources. Material boundaries are fundamental in creating a respectful and responsible material environment. Understanding material boundaries also involves recognizing when others are not respecting them. This awareness helps you take appropriate actions to protect your material boundaries. It's important to surround yourself with people who respect your material boundaries. Material boundaries create a sense of control and balance in our material relationships. They prevent material stress and promote a healthy material lifestyle. Material boundaries also help in managing our material commitments and responsibilities. They ensure we have enough resources for ourselves and our loved ones. Material boundaries are essential for achieving our material goals and maintaining a healthy material balance. Material boundaries also help in managing expectations in material relationships. They ensure that your material needs are met while respecting others' material space. Material boundaries create a sense of material security in relationships. They prevent material dependency and promote material independence. Material boundaries also help in managing material stress and overload. They allow you to prioritize your material well-being. Material boundaries are fundamental in creating materially healthy and fulfilling relationships. They protect your material health and foster material growth. Material boundaries are a crucial aspect of material self-care and maintaining healthy material relationships. Sexual boundaries. Sexual boundaries are essential for defining what we are comfortable with in sexual situations. They protect our sexual health and well-being. Sexual boundaries involve communicating our sexual needs and limits to others. They ensure that our sexual interactions are consensual and respectful. Sexual boundaries help us feel safe and respected in sexual situations. They prevent unwanted sexual advances and abuse. Sexual boundaries are crucial for maintaining healthy and fulfilling sexual relationships. They protect our sexual health and promote sexual respect. Setting sexual boundaries involves being clear about your sexual needs and limits. It's important to communicate your sexual boundaries to others. For instance, you can say, "I'm not comfortable with this." Sexual boundaries help in managing our sexual interactions effectively. They prevent us from feeling violated or disrespected. Sexual boundaries also involve respecting others' sexual boundaries. This means being mindful of their sexual needs and limits. Sexual boundaries help in creating a respectful and consensual sexual environment. They ensure that everyone's sexual needs are valued and respected. Sexual boundaries also play a crucial role in sexual health. They help us set limits on our sexual activities and partners. Sexual boundaries ensure that we engage in safe and consensual sexual practices. They prevent sexual health issues and promote sexual well-being. Sexual boundaries are essential for maintaining our sexual health. They help us manage our sexual interactions effectively. Sexual boundaries also involve setting limits on how much we engage in sexual activities. This helps in avoiding sexual burnout and maintaining a healthy balance. Sexual boundaries protect our sexual health and promote sexual responsibility. Sexual boundaries also involve recognizing and respecting others' sexual boundaries. This means being mindful of their sexual needs and limits. Sexual boundaries help in creating a balanced and respectful sexual environment. They ensure that everyone's sexual needs are met. Sexual boundaries also involve setting limits on how much we share our sexual experiences. This helps in avoiding sexual exploitation and maintaining a healthy balance. Sexual boundaries are crucial for maintaining our sexual well-being. They protect our sexual health and promote sexual responsibility. Sexual boundaries are fundamental in creating a respectful and consensual sexual environment. Understanding sexual boundaries also involves recognizing when others are not respecting them. This awareness helps you take appropriate actions to protect your sexual boundaries. It's important to surround yourself with people who respect your sexual boundaries. Sexual boundaries create a sense of control and balance in our sexual relationships. They prevent sexual stress and promote a healthy sexual lifestyle. Sexual boundaries also help in managing our sexual commitments and responsibilities. They ensure we have enough resources for ourselves and our sexual well-being. Sexual boundaries are essential for achieving our sexual goals and maintaining a healthy sexual balance. Sexual boundaries also help in managing expectations in sexual relationships. They ensure that your sexual needs are met while respecting others' sexual space. Sexual boundaries create a sense of sexual security in relationships. They prevent sexual dependency and promote sexual independence. Sexual boundaries also help in managing sexual stress and overload. They allow you to prioritize your sexual well-being. Sexual boundaries are fundamental in creating sexually healthy and fulfilling relationships. They protect your sexual health and foster sexual growth. Sexual boundaries are a crucial aspect of sexual self-care and maintaining healthy sexual relationships. Understanding and setting boundaries is crucial for our well-being in relationships. Boundaries help us define our identity, protect our mental and emotional health, and maintain healthy and respectful interactions with others. By setting physical, emotional, verbal, time, work, spiritual, financial, and sexual boundaries, we can create a balanced and fulfilling life. Boundaries are not about shutting others out but about creating a safe and respectful space for ourselves and others. They allow us to connect with others authentically and maintain our sense of self. Setting boundaries is an ongoing process that requires self-awareness, communication, and assertiveness. By understanding and enforcing our boundaries, we can create a healthy and empowering environment for ourselves and those around us. Thank you so much for embracing my words of encouragement. If you feel inspired by this message, don't forget to like and subscribe for more empowering content. Share this with those who are ready to embark on their journey toward emotional freedom and empowerment. Your support can help others find the guidance they need for personal growth and transformation.